Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I am having a well-earned rest. A cup of coffee. I have just come back, walked over to the post office. I actually had another order for one of my patterns of coffee. I think people are starting, when they can't find me on eBay anymore, they're looking other places, and they've probably looked, because there is a link to the coffee shop in my description box on my channel. So they've probably been looking on there and starting to find me on Ko-fi, because I charge the same for the patterns on Ko-fi as what I used to charge on eBay, £2.50. So I'm glad about that, because all of my patterns will only be on Etsy or Ko-fi now, and I will be having another pattern coming out soon, which I am in the middle of knitting the last size on it, and when I get that size finished, I'm going to write out the pattern. So there'll be another pattern, but it'll not be on eBay, it'll be on my other two shops. But there is a link to both shops in my description on my channel, so you just need to look there. And I have to cross cables here. I'll do it before I forget, and then go across without crossing the cables, and then have to take the row back out again. Well, half of the row anyway. So that's the cable crossing. Don't have to worry about that for another 10 rows. But I have been doing what I said the other day, I was going to knit an hour on everything, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 things, and that's what I've done this morning. I've spent an hour on everything, and if that hour have a break for a cup of coffee, it takes me go downstairs about 5 minutes to boil a kettle and make a cup of tea or coffee or something. I add that extra few minutes on to the hour that it might have been. See, if it was 10 to 11, it'll be 10 to 5 past 11. So the next hour I'm doing something, it'll be up to 5 past 12 and so on. But I did stuff for my lunch, so I knocked a half an hour off that hour and added it on to the next hour. And then I walked over to the post office, so that was another half hour. So I'm having to add a half hour onto the hour I was doing this. This is my own. I'm including my own in the things that I'm doing every hour, because I never seem to get done otherwise. But as soon as I've been through those 5 things, I'll start again from the beginning and do them all again. That's what I'm doing. And it seems to be working better for me. I'm getting more things done, actually. But I started off with the scarf for my granddaughter. I'll show you what I have done up to now. So that is the scarf. And as you can see, it is getting longer. And I put a stitch marker in. I put a stitch marker in. That was where I done my hour on this. This was the first thing I did this morning. It was from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock actually. I was up been getting up a little bit earlier these last few mornings. I think it's because of the late mornings. The I think with the later mornings is waking me up earlier. So I started 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock on that, and that's where I started on there. Bearing in mind, there's only 12 stitches on here, but it does take a little bit longer to go across the row, because you have to pick up the pom-poms and make sure you're knitting that little bit in between, and that you haven't passed one and went on to the next one. But that is quite a bit. That's what I started doing with this, because when I was knitting with this, I never really knew how much I had done. I thought, oh, I'll put a stitch marker in. So that's what I've done, that much this morning. So I think I showed you it around my neck the other day. It'll probably be better now. It'll be a bit longer. Yes, it's definitely getting longer. So I'll have that finished for next Sunday when I go to with a bit of luck. It might be cold enough to wear it, but I don't think so because weather seems to be getting warmer. Well, it was lovely and sunny today. It's only about 10 or 11 degrees today where I am, just outside Newcastle. But you know, the wind was very cold. But it was fresh. It was a nice, lovely walk, apart from my hips aching by the time I got back. So I've just pulled a stitch off here with that. I'll have to pick it up before I lose it. That's it, I've got it. That one down because I've shown you that one, and that's how far I've got with the waffle one, the 24-inch. I'm nearly up to the armholes. That was another hour, I think, to do from about that much. I think it took me about an hour to do around about that. I should put a stitch marker on these as well so I can see actually how much I do, how many rows I do in an hour. So that's nearly up to the armholes. That was a 24-inch. And then this is the first sleeve. This one here, I have the back and the two sides there. And that's the first sleeve, and I'm up to the armholes, and that's my hour on that. I think I was about down there or something, where I left it off yesterday. So I've done all that in my hour. I seem to get more done working like that than just sticking on one thing all the time, because I get sick, you know, after a while, you know, I get sick of it. It's better if I can change it. So anyway, that'll not be long. The next hour when I come out to do that again, I'll probably finish that sleeve. I'm getting my needles mixed up. That's the one for the pom-pom. Put that in there, and then I did this one. I'm using these are longer needles with the ones I cut in half, put the balls on there, and it's a bit long. This one, you know, I could do with just cutting some smaller ones and making like the length of an ordinary needle. Because I prefer knitting with these type of things. They're easier to knit with, actually. So that's how much I've got done with that one. This will be the one this is the last size on it, the 22-inch. This is the cable and the Irish moss stitch one. When I finish this one, I'll have a full pattern, then I'll be able to write it out and do the pattern, the PDF. You know, I think it's something to do with age, you know, sometimes I can't remember what you call some of these things. But that's how much I got done with that one. So that one, all I had done was a little bit, I think a little bit of the rib. And I think I did a couple of rows of the actual pattern. So done about that much on that one. So I have to fold that back up and put it back in there. That's what I like about these needles as well. You can just fold them up and push them inside the bag, that little bag that you're working on. That's one of my little yarn balls, one of the set of 3. That's the middle size one, I think. And now it's back to my own, which I'll probably have to add a bit, probably a half hour after I do this video, because I'd only just started it when I went out, and then I've done this video which is knocked it off as well, the time of it as well. So, and I think I've got the stitch right. No, I haven't. That should have been 3 purl stitches there after the cable. I've only done 2. Sometimes I've got like a stitch down on either side of the cable where the two knit stitches, but when you're doing an Irish moss stitch, one row sometimes you have 3 knit stitches, and the next time you do it you only have 2. It's the way the pattern works out, and I only done 2 there and there should have been 3. No, I did 3 and there should have been 2, because after those 2 stitches is the purl stitch. I'm doing a knit stitch over it. That's right. I think I better check that other side there. Well, anyway, that's sorted out anyway. I'll get this, what I can of this done. And you know, I'm sitting on this little couch thing and I've been sitting in the middle. I've been forgetting, when I first got it, I was going from side to side because I was starting to get a dip in the middle. And you know that saying, you only get what you pay for, but not with SCS, you don't get what you pay for. I'm sitting in the middle now and I can feel the cushion has gone right down, and I can feel the spring things underneath the what's of the couch on the, I don't know what you call them, the part underneath the cushion. I can feel them actually where I'm sitting. So it looks like this cushion on this couch is not going to last very long. I'll probably have to buy some foam stuff myself. It's a waste of time complaining to them because I've seen all the complaints on Facebook. It's not like my 3-piece suite I have downstairs, which I bought from SCS about 15 years ago, and the cushions are very, you know, the cushions are about that thick on them, and you don't go right down to the bottom part of the settee. So that's my little bit for today. So give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.